Hello there, folks. This is Alex Southerner. I'm your humble motherfucking weatherman from hell, Texas, as it is still freezing cold, and as you can see, it is fucking frozen down here in Texas. It is absolute chaos. It is cold. It is ice, snow, whatever the hell that is. And it's been like that for a while. Power is out everywhere. Look at this place. It is absolute anarchy. There are people around. Their roofs are collapsing from the weight of the snow underneath it. Absolutely devastating. Devastating. People, we're getting murdered by snow down here, man. I don't know if we're gonna make it. I'm here to give you the weather. I'm here to be here till the end to tell you guys, you know, I came here dressed professionally, hoping that I could give you an honest to God weather report about the happenings of Texas and all this, and it's bad, fellas. You know, surprisingly, the hell pool has not frozen over.
Yes, jump in. I must consume.
I don't know why the hell pool hasn't frozen over. I mean, we are in the ninth layer of hell, where everything is frozen and cold and terrible, but it has not frozen over yet. So that is some kind of, I don't know if that's a miracle or just a further punishment from God. But that is what's going on here. That is, the pool is not frozen. The layer of ice around the pool is absolutely ridiculous. It's like 9 inches thick. You can't go down that slide. There's 9 inches of snow on it. This bush was alive like 10 days ago. It had leaves on it. You can see right friggin' through it now. It's dead. Look at it. It's pathetic. The bush has nothing to say. It has nothing to say. It's dead. It can't speak. It's fucking dead. I'm gonna go in the front yard real quick, see if we can get any kind of news on how the front's doing. Ma'am, can I get a comment? Can I get a comment, ma'am? Well, that's about all I have to show you here, folks. This has been Alex Southerner. I hope you all are feeling much warmer up in the north and in the west and east and wherever the hell else all you fucking Yankees live. This has been it in Texas and the south. My hand is actually shaking now, surprisingly. I think I might die. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to get warm. And I love you all. I'm praying for you. I hope you have a fantastic day. And goodbye.
Very, very troubling stuff there from our man in the field, Alex.
Hello.
This storm has taken everybody by surprise, especially the Texans, who usually don't get any sort of frosty weather. Just devastating, Tonka. Do you not agree? Alright, people are talking. Nobody can.
Like a true
Alright,
Midwestern.
that fix it?
Did you fix what?
Yeah. When I joined the room, it didn't. Anyway.
A thing happened. It's done now. It's fixed.
Could you hear us?
No.
Man,
Could you hear me?
no.
That's a shame. Because what I said was absolutely amazing, and you'll probably never hear anything like it in the history of YouTube.
Same here.
Okay, good.
Kyra was hilarious.
Karu
We
was
pointed
he?
out. I mean, like, it's
Bullshit.
very likely that we just saw the last bit of Alex footage ever. He may be dead because he said he was dead or that he was gonna die, and then boom, dead.
Yeah, but you know what?
He's not here today, you know.
When Texas finally unfreezes, however many years that's going to be, or days, or whatever, they'll just find a giant block of ice with a frozen Alex in it.
Yes, but for now, Alex is missing in the field. We are reported him as being kidnapped by Jack Frost. We are starting a GoFundMe immediately to get Cinnabons for all the staff here while we're in mourning.
For Cinnabons.
I've never had a Cinnabon.
Well, or hookers, whatever your poison is.
Cinnabons or hookers.
Yeah, same tomato.
Maybe a Cinnabon and a hook.
Maybe a hooker named Cinnabuns.
I like it. I am for this. Let's do it.
Hey, man, Thruna said, "Right, everybody, happy Friday. Happy Friday." A decent sentiment. A decent sentiment there. So, I don't know, how happy is your Friday so far, Kyra?
It's been pretty good. Watched Doctor Strangelove with some people. Had fun with that. It's an entertaining movie.
Okay.
Just had my pizza.
Had you never seen it before?
No, I'd seen it a good couple of years ago, but I couldn't remember much about it. It was that long ago.
Sounds like a strange way to get some love. Not gonna lie.
Oh.
Have you
Really?
How
tried
have you
Tinder?
guys been enjoying your mornings?
I had a decent morning, but god damn, that joke.
Wasn't it amazing?
It's just bringing me down.
I might have to sue you over that one, Akujin.
Bring me down.
You can expect my lawsuit in 3 years because it takes time for pandemics.
Well, 3 years may be a little brief. Maybe like sometime between now and the next time the magnetic poles shift would be more realistic. You don't want to lock yourself in to predicting doomsday, as many religions have learned.
But I like predicting doomsdays. It's fun.
But it's really easy to get that one wrong.
No, it's really easy to get it right. All you have to do is say the future.
But that's not a day. You're not predicting a day at that point. You're saying it's over there. Where over there?
Yeah, it's in the future.
That's not legit. Guys, that's not legit.
I am predicting that doomsday is in the future.
Okay, well, some people say it's already happened.
Yeah, some people say that the world ended when the Mayan calendar did, and we're now living in a simulated reality, like in Lost. We're all actually dead, but stuck on the island. Which I could believe.
Oh, you could believe that? What makes you believe that?
I mean, I look around and I see a few things. I'm like, yeah, this seems like hell.
Oh. Well, I think hell is different from a simulated reality, right?
How do you know?
Yes. Simulated hell.
Simulated hell. It, okay. All right. Fine. I never saw Lost. I remember it was a big fucking deal, but I never watched that shit.
I watched it once. I liked it.
Oh, you like that? Okay.
Yeah.
And is that why you like the theory behind it?
No, I didn't like the ending.
You didn't like the ending.
Yeah, I thought it was a cop
Isn't
out.
that what most people who watch Lost say?
Yeah. I mean, fucking. Everyone had the same criticisms of the Sopranos ending. You know, the gunshot, the fade, the black, the waking up and everything's a dream, or realizing you're already dead.
Is that what
But-
they did?
What happened in Lost was it turns out that they were all dead, and they all died in a plane crash, and that's been what you've been watching them in. I don't know, going through purgatory or what the fuck ever, and it just seems really cheap to me. I mean, it worked. Anyone who tried that shit after The Sixth Sense, you're a ripoff. The Sixth Sense, when that was really, really good, I think. Really well done. And it's something that only works once. Because if you've ever seen The Sixth Sense twice, well, twice, kind of okay. Because then you like pick up on stuff that you missed, and the first time, like, oh, that makes sense, that makes sense. But by the time you watch it the third time, yeah, it's kind of lost some of the magic.
Well, like twist movies. I don't see how people can really enjoy them the second. Well, like the second time, maybe you'll be like, oh, but like by the third or fourth time, what are you doing? Like the first viewing for the twist, the second viewing to try to see if you can see things that kind of led into
You
it
missed
that
before
make-
and put pieces together. Yeah.
By the third or fourth, what are you bothering with? And maybe a third, I don't know, but like fourth, fifth, what are you doing? What are you doing out
Yeah.
here? Like the Sixth Sense. Who could watch that more than maybe twice?
I
Maybe
watched
two
it more than
times.
twice, and you know, the entertainment value went down exponentially.
Went down. Ah. I had no idea. The others were similar, but different enough it went unnoticed. Bullshit. Captain Thrax said, I see dumb people. Oh. Oh.
Nice. I like that one.
Well, I said I'm with you. I have a lot of comedy I watch repeatedly, a few dramas, but never twist movies more than twice. Maverick, maybe. I don't like comedies. I don't know. I can watch some horror movies over a few times. I can watch, I don't know. I'm not big on movies in general, but like I can watch them once or twice. You know, kind of enjoy them on their terms, but it's like people who sit there and watch the same thing. I don't know. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, twist movies. I don't even get how other people could do it. That's what gets me. Like, how do you do the Sixth Sense more than once? Like, the whole thing is, oh, you're. Well, I won't spoil the 30-year-old movie, but you know.
Well, let's not get all crazy and spoil the movie that's been around, you know, longer than some of the people and some of the commentary community have been alive.
What's older, the Sixth Sense or Kairu?
Sixth Sense.
Is
I
the
think.
Sixth Sense older than Kairu?
What year was Sixth Sense?
06, wasn't it?
Was it 06?
Was it 06?
Was it? I don't know.
Kairu, are you going to be older than the Sixth Sense? Are you gonna beat it?
Hang on, I've got to look at you. Oh no, I'm only just older than it. It's 1999.
99?
99. Red luck balloons.
Look at him. 99.
Yep,
The movie came out in 99.
1999.
And when did Kairu come out?
1998.
Wow. Very close. Very close. Good shit. But you do eke out a victory in age over the Sixth Sense. How
I'm
does that
older
feel?
than the Sixth Sense, and I'm older than Google.
It's good shit. Trevor said, a fake kidnapping like Akujin getting guests for the show. Have you talked to that guy since then about, yeah, my bad?
Maybe.
Maybe? Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No.
No. Yeah.
Damn it, Akujin.
Kill him.
What? I'm sorry, I
Kairu's
haven't
premiere date.
spoken to him.
Terrible. Kairu's premiere date was probably more important. Oh. Yeah. The world premiere of Kairu was a pretty big deal. The Sixth Sense was but you know, Kairu. Come on. Okay. So there's not really a good way to ease into the thing today because it's weird. And it's not the type of thing that's fucking lame to where I hate to have to even talk about. So we can go ahead and go down that road. It's different from usual. Very different. I just heard about it like a minute ago. Well, like an hour or so ago. So
Minutes turn to hours very easily.
they do. They do. You only need 60 of them. But I don't know. The awareness of this, where did it come from? What was the first post anybody saw this shit?
I honestly could not tell you.
Wow. Okay, there's one in the news thing from Dev Noodles. Then there's some in the luck that come from Pescator News. I shit you not. One from Pescator would definitely gotta watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure when it started or exactly how. However, this hashtag, help Find Psy and Find Psy, started trending all over Twitter.
Who is she?
Well, apparently, according to this, it says this person, Psy, originally posted yesterday, posted a video on her story that she was being held in a basement, gave a description of who she was being held by, posted an update on her story and sent messages to friends to stop searching, but all of this seemed very suspicious. Lots of information spread around the story. Said she was in Cincinnati, but others were saying police had given the case to Columbus, yada yada yada.
this got all the way up to the cops investigating level. That's gonna come into play later. That's gonna be a problem very soon.
So yeah, Psy is this a trans black person who, I don't know, they do streams of some description. And yeah, posted that they were being abducted. Video that they were being held in a basement.
They posted that they were being abducted.
Being
Now,
held
for
in
me,
a
that would've
basement,
been a
yeah.
red flag. Whenever I would be in a situation like that, I'm probably not going to be like, you know what? Time to make a video.
Well, everyone jumped on it. Psy is a young black trans woman who is at increased risk of facing violence and has been kidnapped and is in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. On the Instagram, they posted a quick video in the dark and said a tall 40 to 50 Latino male, about 5'10", please, in Cincinnati, I'm in the basement, held. He could be back at any second. Police, they weren't doing enough. So obviously Twitter needed to come into it. Hashtags to use: Find Psy, Pay Psy, which is their GoFundMe payment method, so that when Psy is safely relocated, they will have more resources.
And it's a scam.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Sadly.
Okay, wait. Why would there be GoFundMes for a kidnapping? Take your time. How? How did this get a half an inch off the ground?
I'll tell you
I don't
exactly
know.
why. It was able.
But, you know,
No,
a
I can tell you
second
why.
ago, when she was being kidnapped, she was a representative of all black trans women, and now she's not. Funny how that works, but anyway.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it was able to get off the ground in the first place because, of course, she is a black trans woman. That is a very well. The LGBT community likes to claim that as a very oppressed and very horribly done to group. And knowing the LGBT community, as soon as they see anything like something bad happening to one of their own, they will immediately start
It's
throwing
the
money
Twitter
at it.
do your thing.
Yeah, it's the
right?
Twitter do your thing, and they'll start throwing money at it, and they won't look to see why is it asking for money when a person has disappeared.
Do we have the GoFund? Like, what was the description of a GoFundMe for a kidnapping?
I would love to know. I haven't come across that yet. If someone could link me the GoFundMe, that would be pretty cool.
Or even if they have the original link for it, I'm not sure if that GoFundMe is still there, but if it is, might be able to put it through the archive, see what it can find.
But yeah, surprisingly, this turned out to be a bullshit scam. Here's a tweet from Def Noodles. Person claiming to be kidnapped. It was allegedly a lie, according to people close to the situation. The thread got over 70k retweets, 2.9 million views. Help Psy went trending. GoFundMe apparently raised thousands of dollars. And DJ Strap-On Bimbo Goddess said, I am so fucking disappointed to inform y'all that this shit was a fucking lie. I feel so betrayed. I had a fucking panic attack and got dragged all over Twitter trying to help Find Psy to find out she planned this and recorded everything from a Ohio roommate's closet using the hashtag Find Psy. And then there are some screenshots of conversations. Appreciate it. Thank you. I was worried sick. Have you talked to Tata yet? Yeah, she just filled me in. Can't believe this was happening. The girl in Ohio apparently had no fucking idea that this was going on. So she's appears to be an innocent party.
I don't know if anybody would know what's going on but them. Not many people are going to co-sign doing this.
Yeah. Can't believe someone I called my friend did something so monstrous. Happy she's safe, but this is fucked up.
This is pretty fucked up. How long did this go on? A day?
Yeah, roughly 24 hours.
At least it wasn't much longer, but still, even a day. Fuck off. I don't know how you would fucking be able to deal with that. Like,
apparently.
That is
I
an
have-
abuse of friendship. Like, if you're friends with a person and they're doing shit like that, it's like, okay, dude, we're not friends. We're never gonna
I've
be
just-
friends again. Fuck out of here.
I've just found the GoFundMe.
Oh, I wanna see the description. Give it to Akujin.
There isn't a description on it.
What?
There's no description on it.
It's just money?
It's
Gives
just the
money.
title and image,
Find Psy.
and of course the donation thing, and how much money they made off it. It's kind of fucking disgusting.
Wow.
What?
Are you not looking at what I'm looking at? Clicked on one of the screenshots.
What is
Okay.
Oh, they've made even
it
more money
looks
since
like,
then.
Oh,
according to
about
these
50
screenshots,
grand.
yeah, it looks like Psy claims she has disabled all GoFundMe donations, even though GoFundMe had already had the campaign under review,
God.
but kept it open so people can request refunds. Withdrawals. Well, amount raised $47,700.
Well, it actually was only about $60 off hitting 50,000 at the moment. So we even made more money since then.
You guys, I'm gonna need you to kidnap me. If we can make 50 grand in one day. Just
Would you like to
organizer
hear what
disabled
Psy
new
had to say?
donations.
do what?
You want to hear what Psy had to say?
Oh, I'm sure this is gonna be enlightening.
Well, apparently they released a 35-minute long video explaining what happened while also trying to dodge responsibility.
No.
This is not the
McGruff.
whole 35 minutes. This is 2 minutes and 16 seconds of it.
Maybe we should watch the 35 minutes and just be mad. We can just be mad all day today.
Well, I don't have a
fine
link to
with
the
that.
35 minute.
We'll look for the 35-minute one after this, but how long is this excerpt?
2 minutes and 16 seconds.
We'll drag this out. We'll drag it out. McGruff said, Dear Tonky Time, I've been kidnapped. Please look for me on Twitter. Please donate. That was a healthy vape. But wait, they may not have heard it. That could have just been me. It's okay.
No, I forgot to mute myself.
No, come on!
Fuck's sake!
Okay. So, are we watching the video with you, or are you doing it through the YouTube video?
Holy shit. I just realized I wasn't live.
Oh my god!
The sabotaging begins.
Fucking damn it, Akujin.
This every day.
Alright.
Every day.
Did something that, might be unforgivable to some people,
Might be!
Do you guys remember that time Johnny Fox pretended he was dead?
And nobody
Yes.
cared.
Okay, yeah, nobody cared that he died. Do you also remember that Blossom, a little bit after, she was like, hey, you realize he lied about that, right? And then people got mad at Blossom for saying that he lied about dying and he was faking his death. Do you remember that? That was amazing. This reminds me of that, and I don't know why, but just out of nowhere, that popped into my fucking mind. I just remembered that time. It was so good. So good. Yeah, but this might be unforgivable. Like, faking your own death might be unforgivable. Like this
Well-
weird fucking need for sympathy on the internet always leads to something that is unforgivable, maybe, depending on who you are. Fuck. Go ahead. What
Well,
were you saying?
the thing is, Psy has already forgiven Psy. So, not everyone is able to, has stumbled into that roadblock of unforgiveness. Yeah, $50,000 later, may be unforgivable. We'll see.
some people might not ever see why, I might have done something, but I did lead people to believe that I was in immediate danger.
Yes, you did.
And
Wait.
this was not something that was a level-headed, clear-headed decision.
Was it a nice kidnapper? Oh, and it what? Wait, oh god, so much to unpack, and like they're not even getting out that many words. Okay, so you weren't in immediate danger, so it was a nice kidnapper. That was the idea of the skit. Obviously, it was a skit.
Yeah, I'm kidnapped and in a basement in Ohio, but I'm having a great time.
What was the second bit? What was the second thing?
Wasn't in a level-headed state of mind.
It wasn't a level-headed state of mind they were in. I wasn't in a level-headed state of mind.
I think they were being absolutely, in like completely with their own.
This is taking
normal
Matt's
self.
bad headspace to the nth
Jesus.
degree. Like, this is level-headed state of mind. Get the
I'm
fuck
trying to
outta
find the thing that I had
pretends-
before. Yeah,
Who the fuck pretends to be kidnapped?
on their
Waits until
Instagram,
their
they
fucking
posted.
GoFundMe. It's fucking $40,000, and then reappears to collect another 10,000.
On her Instagram, posted a quick video in the dark saying, tall, 40 to 50 Latino male, about 5'10". Please, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio, in the basement. He could be back any second. Please help. Like, if you heard that and thought that, that person may be in some sort of danger, well, you did this to you.
Yeah, you totally misunderstood what was being said.
Hang on, how is she a
Fuck.
black trans woman but also a Latino male?
No, that was the description of the person who had abducted her. Her friendly abduction. Friendly neighborhood
Very
abductor.
friendly. No, sorry, I got myself confused. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
This is a stupid enough situation. It's very confusing as to why this even happened in the first place. Fuck this
It
bitch.
came from a place of me going through it. What I posted
Going through what?
What?
It came from a
Scamming
place of me
Was
going
it
through it.
happening? Came through a place of me going through it. What were you going through a kidnapping? So it was real?
Motherfucker, you set it up. You kidnapped yourself. You lied about the other people. You were fine. You didn't go through anything.
You're sitting in your friend's closet.
Was basically a 3-second clip crying for help. I was giving just a CC of, indicating that, something had happened to me or I was in danger. I tried to take it back as soon as I could. I tried to backtrack it. I tried to delete it. I tried to, but it kept getting deeper and deeper as, I am. So let me just say, 90% of what you're reading online is not true. This video that I posted was definitely taken and run with. I kind of, in that sense, took advantage of, that sense of over-familiarity that people tend to have with influencers or Black women in general. I kind of took that and I ran with it. It was definitely...
What the fuck is this idiot saying?
What does that
Basically
mean?
saying it's your fault.
Is that what's happening here?
It's your fault for overfamiliarity. Yes, that is what...
I did this?
Shouldn't have cared.
It is the people who are spreading it around's fault for thinking and being overly familiar with the influencer.
That doesn't make any fucking
and not
sense,
just
Kyra.
her, but also Black women in general.
Okay, what though?
What?
I don't
So
know
you
who this
tried to
is.
delete the video, but you couldn't for some reason? And you also couldn't upload another video saying, oh, by the way, that was a joke?
Was it a joke or were they going through it?
They were going through it, but now it was a joke, and it's your fault, Tonka.
It's not really a fucking joke when you're scamming 50 grand's worth of money out of people.
That's a lot of joke. It's a lot of joking. $50,000 is a lot of joking. I don't know, man.
This is only coming out now. I mean, this thing went viral. People were trying to contact her, apparently, her friends, whatever. Like, you could have told all them. So, bullshit to this, that you tried to reel it back. You didn't try to reel it back. You sat back and watched.
We're probably plotting your own rescue. Oh, God. I don't know. I hate to be like that, but holy shit, man. Fucking people these days.
You know it was.
I do. I know.
How am I gonna have myself rescued out of this to collect that $50,000?
Thank all the little people. Man. Go ahead.
Cry for attention. It was desperate. It was wrong, might I add. It was disgusting, and I immediately regretted it because I deleted it 10 minutes later. And I knew it was wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not gonna come to you crying and, I'm not gonna come to you crying or asking for forgiveness because I don't need your forgiveness. I don't need anyone's forgiveness. I just need to clear my name and say my part. I could have called it off then and there, which I tried to do, but it didn't really come off genuine, and this is a very serious situation. Again, it wasn't a lie because as a Black trans woman, I've been in these situations.
I think it was a lie. I think it was a lie. I think that it not being a lie is a lie. I think that's not true.
No. See, as a black trans woman, she was absolutely in that situation. She just wasn't in
As
that
a person
situation.
who breathes air, that's a lie. They just said it's bullshit.
And this is a very serious situation. Again, it wasn't a lie because as a black trans woman, I've been in these situations.
Whew.
Okay. I've been in these situations, so this situation that I invented for this stunt wasn't a lie.
I really don't like this person.
It's
Oh,
pretty
here's the link
easy
to the
not
whole
like this one.
35-minute video.
Oh, jeez. Okay. We may tap dance into that one a little later. At the moment, we do have a surprise. Does anybody feel like surprises?
I like surprises.
You're a liar. But okay.
No.
It is kind of a surprise. Damn it. All right, Akujin, do you have the surprise? Said you had the surprise. Are you lying to me again?
Look, just because you thought I had a surprise, that's on you. You should be careful about who you believe and who you trust.
Fucked up.
Yeah, you did. You fucked up.
I heard a blink. What? Did you get it? Good?
Think you got it?
He lying.
You are muted, sir.
Is it that thing where everybody gets muted when they come in?
No.
Okay.
I was already muted when I came in.
Ah, there he is. I knew it. See? I'd already muted him. Good morning.
What's going on, everybody?
Hello.
Well, we heard a story about a girl who kidnapped herself, but also had a GoFundMe, but she didn't kidnap herself.
What?
It was bad. She
Faked the kidnapping and made $50,000 off GoFundMe.
Wow. It's a GoFraud.me story right there.
It was up there. But
where did you see that?
It just happened. A couple people were tweeting about it, and they put out a video talking about how they're owning up to it.
Oh, damn, I need to see that. I want to, that sounds like some good content right there.
It's something. It is something. Like, we were looking at it just now, and they're like, yeah, I didn't want anybody to think I was in immediate danger, or, and everything everyone's saying it's totally blown out of proportion. And it's like, I don't know if that's true, though.
I don't know, though, man. Like, just the fact that someone's owning up to it, that's so different than anything I've experienced in my world. So,
well, they're saying it's that thing where they say, I'm owning up to it. And then you get there, and they're like, yeah, it was a joke.
It's a not apology.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's a half-hour not apology they got going on.
A half hour? They made a half hour. Well, you don't do that.
Somebody did a supercut of like 2 minutes. That was pretty.
Your apology can't be 30 minutes. I mean, that just gives people too much to tear apart.
Not just that, but when you're not even that sorry.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it was a 2-minute, like if you were able to condense that 30 minutes down into a 2-minute thing, you could probably seem like you were pretty contrite and that you actually were being apologetic. But 30 minutes where you're going to backtrack and you're going to make excuses for yourself, that's not a good look.
It doesn't look pretty.
That's why, I worked in PR for a long time. That's why those statements are always so short.
Yeah, the less is more. What used to be less is more. Now people just spam content out into the void.
Yeah, that's true.
Gokai had thrown 5 and said, it's over there, next to the paperwork for the Susan. The over there argument. And also, Gadfly had thrown and said, does he know he's on a live show, Akujin? Did Akujin let you know that you're even on a show today?
No, I had no idea. Oh, what? I knew I was on the show today. Is it on right now?
Yeah, he has a habit of not telling people they're live.
You didn't know that?
I thought you guys were setting up.
See? You did. You again. Akujin. Again,
Look,
repeating this over and over. Habitual. Repeat offender.
sorry.
Nothing to say for yourself. He's killing me.
Again.
Okay. All right. Before we get into Wes, what show Wes the little supercut thing of the crazy lady before we get into we have another story. There's stories. We have a story time coming. Don't worry. But I do kind of want Wes's take on this, as I would like anyone's take on this. It's fucking fascinating. Like I don't know why anyone would do this.
Where am I supposed to be seeing this?
All right. You got to click Akujin's name, and then it'll come up with a thing to watch whatever he's pulled up on the thing. So you'll be in tune with him instead of being behind on the stream.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright.
February 15th, I did.
February 15th? This was fucking 3 days ago.
Yeah.
It's all kind of falling apart now. That's the thing.
You let this ride for 3 days?
Probably
Until
2
you got
days.
found out.
Probably 2 days. Probably happened in the evening yesterday. If everybody's talking about it this morning, it happened yesterday. You know that by now. But keep rolling, keep rolling. Let him hear some crazy shit.
Something that, you know, might be unforgivable to some people. You know,
It might
some
be.
Might
Warning.
be, maybe.
Wes, don't try to help this person.
I'm
You've
not
got a
gonna,
you've got a
I was
history.
getting ready to.
Don't move them
I
in.
do have an open room.
Wes's instinct to help somebody who doesn't deserve it and is a terrible person is tingling. Like he right now wants to reach out and help them.
I'm just asking for contact information for my own reasons.
people might not ever see why, you know, I might have done something, but I did lead people to believe that I was in immediate danger. And this was not something that
not
was
to interrupt, but I'm
level-headed
not a body language
decision,
expert, but all the looking around. What are you looking at?
The answer's out
see
there
like the lack
somewhere.
Well, yeah, I mean, like you could just see she's looking for what she's saying. This should have been like a written statement.
She's fumbling for excuses.
Yeah.
No, I can see that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, continue playing.
No,
you're right.
looking anywhere outward because the truth ain't in them. It's that kind of thing. That's what my grandfather would say about it. Why are you looking everywhere? Because you know the truth ain't in you.
You're looking for it.
Good.
It came from a place of me going through it. What I posted was
Didn't go through it though.
A 3-second clip, crying for help.
Oh, it was only 3 seconds. That makes it alright. You know, guys, it was only a 3-second clip. You know.
In the 3 seconds, Wes, they conveyed a description of the perp, said, please send help. They could be back any minute.
In 3 seconds?
I don't think it was 3 seconds. It was probably like 5 or 6 seconds. But they were, they spammed the guy's description, said, please help. He could be back. They
posted a clip, said quick video posted in the video was shot in the dark and said, tall 40 to 50 Latino male, about 5'10", please, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm in the basement. He could be back any second. Please help.
And she had a phone?
Well, yeah. How are you supposed to update your Instagram?
Wait,
hello.
She had a phone to post that, but not to call 911.
Look. See, now you're getting into problem areas.
Yeah, I'm asking too many questions. I'm asking.
That would be the first thing I said when it's like, okay, hold on, you got kidnapped, but he let you have a phone.
That's why you don't question victims.
Yeah,
Look,
that's like some of
Clearly.
them sex slaves who bring you your clothes. Like,
Yeah, right. And like, yeah, you
They're
take them,
sex
you take them
slavers
their
out here.
clothes and their boxes of feeding tube formula instead of the chicken fries. And
look.
the
Yeah.
police are there.
She had no
Asking
signal, but she had Wi-Fi. All right, happens.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I'm sorry.
I got Wi-Fi in my kidnap
Well-
box. It's fine.
Can't believe what I'm hearing. I mean, people out here fucking throwing shade at the victim. This person is obviously the victim here.
Terrible.
I was giving just a CC of, indicating that, something had happened to me or I was in danger. I tried to take it back as soon as I could.
No, you did.
I tried to backtrack it. I tried to delete it. I tried to, but it kept getting deeper and deeper as, I am.
How do you try to delete something? Because I'm pretty adept at deleting things. You
I think
know,
what they, even if she deletes that shit at that point, dude.
That's the thing, is deleting it
it's
will
out
make it look
there.
worse. Like she had to delete it because the tall Latino man was back down in the basement, wanted to know where she got the phone from, why she didn't call 911. She's like, and if she would have deleted it, then people would have thought this person really isn't dead. They had to delete it because the timeline's being looked at, and that whole thing. That's
Issues. I'm just saying the issues.
Okay. There are times for honesty where it's like required. And after you pull this shit, it's fucking required. So if you did try to delete that thing and was for some reason you were unable to delete it, that's the time you need to go, okay, I was fine, that thing was a prank, whatever. Like, downplay it, but say that it wasn't real.
yeah. You save yourself a lot of trouble by just saying, "Yo, I messed up. That's it. My bad." And be done with it. Because all that spinning different offshoots of your lie over and over and over again, it just gets deeper and worse. And this 35-minute video, I have to watch this later. That's amazing.
Keep going. It just gets better. Like they just make themselves seem worse and worse. Angry at the air conditioning.
So let me just say, 90% of what you're reading online is not true. This video that I posted was definitely taken in.
That's because 90% of what you were seeing online was help Psy. Psy's in danger. She said she needs help.
I kind of, in that sense, took advantage of, that sense of over-familiarity that people tend to have with influencers or Black women in general. I kind of took that and I ran with it. It was definitely a cry for attention. It was desperate. It was wrong, might I add. It was disgusting, and I immediately regretted it because I deleted it 10 minutes later. And I knew it was wrong. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to come to you crying and,
Appreciate.
I'm not going to come to you crying or asking for forgiveness because I don't need your forgiveness. I don't
No,
need
you're coming here blaming
anyone's
us.
forgiveness. I just need to
You
clear
got
up
over
my
familiar.
part. I could have called it off then and there, which I tried to do, but it didn't really come off genuine, and this is a very serious situation. Again, it wasn't a lie because as a Black trans woman, I've been in these situations.
Wait, what?
Okay. Now, that's where it cuts off, and that is a fascinating place to go. Now, it's not a lie because it's happened before.
That old chestnut.
So, like, you could walk into a crowded theater and yell fire because technically a fire did happen at one
A
point.
fire has
before.
happened before.
There have been documented histories of fires.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm not lying. I'm just
Yeah.
telling you guys what can happen.
Yeah, and as a person that is vulnerable to fires, I mean,
I'm fire
Trigger
sensitive.
warning, fire mention. That's crazy.
I'm not fire kid. That shit hurts.
Yeah, no, that was a really nice way to end that. That has happened before.
Fucked me up the way that it ends like that. It's like, no, it's not a lie because like that's happened before. And it's okay.
She actually had the roots for a really good apology in there, because there's like one part where she says it was disgusting. You know, like I was wrong, what I did was wrong. Like that should have been it right there. All the other stuff where you're making the excuses for it, none of that matters.
Everything around it was really bad. The way it ended was like,
oh
holy
yeah,
shit. It was like, you said that out loud.
Does she?
You can't do
elaborate on that any further? Like, what has happened to her before as a black trans woman?
At this point, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but I doubt
you
it's true.
You could say that that's mean or harsh or whatever, but you know, after you pull a stunt like this, I'm sorry, I'm gonna feel stupid for like listening to you and then like having any sympathy for you. You kind of blew your wad.
They do this and they get caught, and instead of, you know, admitting what they did, they continue down that trail. And then from then on, they're the boy or girl or them who cried wolf, and you can't believe them anymore because they've proven to be this, you know, just lying. And to play, you know, the black trans and are the, you know, person of color and trans, those are things that you're clearly playing off of, because you
trying
know
to
that
check any box they can to where
exactly.
people
I mean,
can't
like,
have a go here.
Only thing missing was a wheelchair, like a foreign adopted kid.
They can borrow mine.
See, and so yeah, that it is disgusting. You know, it is disgusting, and she clearly knew what she was doing, and she was wanting to go viral and get some attention, and then probably realized it was a bad idea after it was.
You know what would have been a much better cover for this? Being like, look, I was planning like an ARG, and the first part blew up way too big before I could get the other part lined up. My bad. That would have been a way to cover it, right? Like I've heard of the ARGs. That's a thing. All right. Thing. You could have went with that. Going with nice, you know, it's happened before. So this isn't a lie.
I don't know, deep fake Russian hack. That's what I would go with. Deep fake Russian hack, because then that covers a lot.
My account was hacked. I accidentally left it open at my mate's place, and
yeah, my buddy Chris got in there and posted some memes about Onision. I mean, that worked that worked really well for Vince Nicotra. So like, why not go to that well again?
They always claim a hack. Do you know who Goldberg is, Wes? Like Goldberg from like way back in the day, in like WCW.
Oh yeah.
Did you know that he went on a tirade about how he was going to murder the president last year? And then just came back and was like, yeah, sorry guys, my Twitter was hacked. It's okay. What?
I love the hack excuse.
Like, you always wait on it. Like, you'll see people snap and it's like, oh shit, they're going off, and then just wait for it, and I was hacked. Okay.
Yeah, I was hacked.
Every time they say what you know they really fucking think, turns out they were hacked.
Was the writing style completely like mine? Absolutely. They've really been doing their homework. Oh, wait, what's this? I've been sent something.
Okay. It was irrelevant, but pleasant. I appreciate it. So, we talked about this a little bit. We may touch back on it some, but I want to make sure that we get some time to talk about this because, all right, I was told by Akujin, who comes from the future, because it's Saturday for him right now.
Yeah.
He told me from the future that you had another story.
Yeah.
Something has happened.
Wait. Yeah. So I actually mentioned it in the first Muse video about the human trafficking situation. You know, that little situation from last year.
Uh-huh.
That old
That
chestnut.
while
That old chestnut.
that while Muse was in my home, I had an ex who was arrested for cyber stalking and harassment. And, you know, which was funny because this was on March 3rd last year, which was 3 days before, you know, Muse moved out of my house and later try and say I had trafficked her. But the police were at my home that day for like 2 hours because this girl had been, I dated her for a few weeks in 2019, October 2019. And then I had to end things with her because she was supposed to, you know, come help out with Halloween. I do a big Halloween thing. She was busy smoking meth.
Oh.
Yeah, right. Like she messaged me. She said, "Hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. Like I'm safe. I'm good. I just smoked meth.
I've been kidnapped. He's tall, about 5'10".
I thought it was. I thought it was a joke, right? Because normally if you hit someone up, you're like, "Hey, I'm running late. I'm smoking meth." There would be a punchline or, you know, something else to follow. But no, I was legit. And then she's like, "Oh, my roommate made me do it because it couldn't be her fault." But you know, regardless, you know, that's all I need to hear. I'm out.
Hostage situation now. You better smoke that meth.
Yeah, you smoke this meth right now.
Right now.
And so I was like, all right, well, you know, I'm done. I don't fuck around with meth. And she would not accept that for an answer. And she was like showing up at my house and just, you know, hundreds and hundreds of text messages and emails per week. She was coming to my house and trying to give me this book of handwritten poetry and just like, you know, weird stuff. Oh, she had a bike in my garage. She rode a bike over here one day. You know, Pacific Northwest, people like riding bikes. And she left the bike in my garage and she came by to get it. And I gave her bike, and then she was trying to talk to my kid. And I told her if she didn't leave my house, I was gonna, you know, I'm gonna call the police. You need to stop showing up. You need to stop calling me. And the next thing I know, I see her, like I'm upstairs, I see her walking out of the neighborhood, no bike. Next day, my neighbor comes over, has Ring door cam footage of this girl throwing the bike overhead into her yard.
She gorilla press on the bike?
Yeah, she picked it up over her head and just tossed it into her yard.
Oh.
She said, "Do you know anything about this?" I'm like, "She looks familiar." I'm like, you know, I live in a nice neighborhood. I'm not trying to be like, "Oh yeah, let me tell you what happened." Right. So girl was insane. For 5 months, this went on with just constant. Then they started getting threatening, you know, because she in her mind had made up this 90-day probation period or that we were on, and we were going to get back together after that. And she was talking about like coming to my house. And so long story short, the police told me, like, you need to tell her in writing not to contact you again. It needs to be in writing. It needs to be documented, or never to contact you again. And if she does, you'll contact the police. So February 18th last year, I did that. She started contacting me at my work. And like, I don't even know how she got my work email or any of that stuff, but she started contacting me at work with, "Why don't you love me? You never gave me a chance. You know, you chose to give up because of a miscommunication." And I don't know where you're from, but meth is not a miscommunication.
And not a lot of miscommunication about the meth, but meth can lead to miscommunication, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm sure it can lead and has led to many miscommunications, but meth itself is not a miscommunication.
Accurate.
Unless you're like, "I thought we were doing math and I just got it all wrong and I'm over here with the pipe already." Oh. That's a miscommunication. That's an honest miscommunication, and it probably has happened in like New Jersey.
People are saying
It happened to me last week.
Okay, so that is that would be an honest miscommunication. But 5 months later, I'm still getting all this. So February 18th, I sent her this email like, hey, don't contact me again. I'm gonna I will call the police. And she responds back, fuck you, you piece of, it was just, she was not happy with it and continued on. And but then 2 weeks later, it got way worse. And Muse was in my home and I didn't want to deal with this anymore. So I called the police and I was like, all right, hey, that girl's still contacting me. They told me, we'll call her and warn her. 99 times out of 100, that stops them. And so I called the police up. I'm like, hey, man, you were here last week and that girl's still messaging me. And he said, all right, what's her name? Give him her name. He goes, all right, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to lock all your doors and windows and do not open it until I get there. Like, can you just call her? Like, it sounds like a lot. Can you guys just call her? He goes, no, I need to come talk to you. Dude shows up at my house like 10 minutes later and he says, so what do you want me to do? I thought he was asking me kind of like, well, what do you want me to do about it? I said, well, I want you to call her like you said you would. He said, no, you don't understand. She has multiple charges here and in California for basically the same thing. So I need to go arrest her, but I need your permission to do that. So yeah, man, go do what you need to do. So she got arrested that day for harassment. Got out,
arrested for miscommunication.
Over a meth communication. She was arrested. And what's weird, so this is where things kind of cross because like I said, Muse was at my home. The police were at my home. Because I only communicated with her via text, I had texted her and let her know, hey, the police are going to be here in a little bit about, my stalker. So if she really did feel like at any point that she was being trafficked, one, I probably wouldn't have called the police to come to my house. But two, she could have, come downstairs at any moment and been like, hey, FYI, I've been trafficked. But that didn't happen because, she didn't move out for 3 days. And I guess hadn't realized that she had been trafficked until hospital told her.
Well, you have to understand that she was going through it. And even though she wasn't being trafficked at the time, she may have been through that before.
So that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a thing, right?
Now that I watched this other video, now it's all starting to become clear. So anyway, the Muse video comes out like a month later, maybe the end of March, because she had already moved out. I'd seen that she was calling me a sex trafficker that she had escaped from. So I made my video, and when it came out, I had all these people like contacting me because they had experiences with Muse too, like they had been through it with her, or they had something like that similar happen in their life. Even Vince Nicotra contacted me. He was like, man, that story's really messed up. You're not, I don't like you, but you're not a trafficker. But the stalker was all over my YouTube comments and Twitter, like, ha ha ha, this is what you get. You could have been with me, but you chose this girl. And she started contacting people that I work with about making a video about me because I broke up with her. And she really wanted people to know that I'd ended this relationship with her. So she got arrested again because you can't do that when there's a restraining order against you. But then all that shit because of COVID and everything, all that shit kind of got dropped. And in November, she started contacting me again and telling me, I'm going to expose you.
Did she make videos though?
So all right. So here's how I met her. In 2018, I had this show called Cheater Pop. And what Cheater Pop was I was catching married men who were showing up to pick up a prostitute at the park.
Okay.
And they would get there, and then I would come out with the camera and some game buzzer buttons. And I would put the buttons in front of them, and I give them this letter saying, like, hey, there's cameras watching you from all around. I know why you're here. And you could either you can either leave and I'm going to put the chat log and everything online, or you could stay and play some games and answer some questions, and then I'm gonna let you go. So it was kind of like
You did a game show.
I did, and I mean,
Wes,
so
why would you stop doing? That sounds amazing.
I got sued before I ever even got the launch.
Oh, fuck!
Right, but so
that sounds so good.
But the footage exists. Like, I mean, this is a real act. So I needed a decoy to use for the videos and stuff, and to use on the profiles and online. So I put an ad on Craigslist under the talent gigs that I was doing something for this reality show. She was the person I ended up hiring.
She's like, I'm a convincing hooker.
I mean, yeah, she was, but the show was great because I would make them sing. I would make them do like skits. They would have to answer trivia based off their chat logs, and it was hilarious. But I got sued, so that ended that show. So that's how
God.
Oh, I know, man, because it would have been great. But that was how I ended up meeting her, and how she came into my life, and like I said, and then I didn't see her again for like a year. And then we ended up dating in October 2019 for that few weeks. And then she comes back this last November, and she's saying she's going to expose me, and she's writing a book about me, and like all this other crazy stuff. And she's like, your son's going to know about who you are and how you treat women. And there's one of Muse's people is out here trying to make expose videos about me, claiming I abused my child and just all kinds of ridiculous stuff. So she was going to do an interview with him as my victim. And I told her, I said, hey, you don't want to do that, like, because I have every crazy text and email you sent me. You were stalking me. If you make it, because I never mentioned her other than that one time in the Muse video. And she was talking about suing me for that. I'm not his ex. He never even gave me a chance to date him. I'm going to sue him for slander.
You didn't even name her, right?
No, I didn't name her at that point. Because I didn't want to talk about her. Because I'm making a video about this girl trying to have me arrested for trafficking. And in that video, I'm also going to mention, the girl who had been stalking me for 5 months. Like, that's a whole other story in itself.
Jabbers threw in a minute ago to say, Wes, you've got terrible taste in women, man.
No, right?
It's brutal.
So I didn't mention her. Now, the cheater pop, I did use a 30-second clip of it in one of my videos from February of last year. And the ex, Crystal, because I do mention her in the video that came out in December. So Crystal, who was my decoy, and I called her the decoy in the video, sends me this email, and she's really pissed off that I called her the decoy instead of my friend or my girlfriend, or when she was none of those things. Like, at this point, I hadn't spoken to her in 4 months and wanted nothing to do with her. She was like, you didn't even ask my permission to use footage when she was getting paid $50 an hour when we did Cheater Pop, and signed a release form. So I mean, that's my footage, but she was upset about that.
You already paid for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, she was getting, like I said, $50 an hour to do a YouTube show that never even got to launch. I mean, so she got paid. And so she was mad. She was mad about that. So I never wanted to mention her name. I didn't want to do anything or use any footage, because anytime I did, it was like an invitation for her to start blowing me up with contact again. And she lived in the area, so I didn't want her showing up at my house, so I just didn't talk about her. I said, I never talked about you before. I didn't mention you, but if you're going to come out here and try and make it look like anything other than what it was, you stalking me, I'll make my own video. And all it's going to prove is that you are insane. And she just came back with, well, do what you need to do. I'm going to let people know that you use women. Which, if I'm using women, Like, I got so many women, I'm using them all. Then how am I also like this desperate trafficker? Because those two things don't make sense.
You used her for $50 an hour.
For $50 an hour to do a cheater pop show.
It's
That's
over.
quite an expensive bit of using.
That's a fair negotiation, damn it. It's
Right?
over. She should chill.
Yeah. So she went and did an interview. She like just made up a bunch of lies and looks and sounds crazy. So I made a video where I broke down everything that happened up until the point where she was arrested. And that came out, I think, December 24th. And within, 24 hours, she was on Twitter talking about I was gonna be responsible for her suicide. She contacted my ex-wife, talking about how I was trying to force her to be my submissive and just crazy stuff, just lies. Because she can't, none of this needed to happen if she just would have stopped. We're in court now because I block her on Twitter and she would put up she'll create a new one and she's tweeting, go ahead and block me. I'll just create a new Twitter, dumbass. You are toxic. And so after, dealing with this for a year and a half, I filed a restraining order against her, and she's in California now, about 30 miles from my parents, and has a long history of
She hasn't acted
stalking.
crazy with your parents or
What's that?
She hadn't acting crazy with your parents or anything.
I mean, so back in October when we were dating for those few weeks, she left her phone in my car. Now, my family's all in California, but she left her phone in my car and couldn't get a hold of me for a few hours because she was, I guess, messaging me on Facebook. So she contacted every member of my family on Facebook to tell them that she left her phone in my car and asked them if there was anything they could do. And so she doesn't understand boundaries. So no, she hasn't done anything with my family yet. But she can't now because of a restraining order. The girl's also 4 months pregnant with some dude's baby. And still, her Twitter is 90% talking about me. She posted a picture of her sonogram, mentioned me in it. About like how her hopes her baby doesn't grow up to be a piece of trash like Wes Moast. I've never seen an announcement.
That was a baby announcement.
The first sonogram that she posted mentions me.
It ain't right.
I'm having a baby. P.S. Where's Moast? Complete piece of shit. Oh, baby.
Congrats to the new parents. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy because it's like as soon as one thing dies down, then something just pops up out of nowhere, and like things were really nice and calm for me, and then I get this crazy ass ex who I never wanted to talk about reaching out of the blue, talking about I'm gonna expose you for you. What she keeps saying,
because you use that cursed footage.
She's like, you love no, it's not because of the footage. She's saying that I love bombed and discarded. That's what she keeps saying. You love bombed me and then discarded me. And it's just funny because the meth never gets brought up. I think for a lot of people, meth would be a deal breaker.
Okay.
But yeah,
what is love bomb and discarded? Like you were all about it and then you're not about it? Is that what you
apparently, but like there was no love bombing.
What the fuck is love bombing? What are we talking about?
I was really nice to her, and then as soon as she did a minor thing like smoke meth, I was all of a sudden just done with her, which clearly was a calculated thing to use her. So we had court on Tuesday, and she showed up and just asked that
Did she show up on meth?
Possibly. I wouldn't put it back. But it was on Zoom. And she said she needed more time because she needs a paralegal or someone to call her back so she can to try and get some legal aid. But this girl she's mentioned that she's been 5150'd before, which is in California, it's an involuntary mental hold. And if you've been 5150'd, you are not allowed access to access or own guns of any type. And
She got guns.
Well, she got so many guns, and she likes to post pictures on social media of her shooting the guns. She also now here's, I like story time. Here's the best story, because when I met her, she was with this dude who had a son who was 21 at the time. He has either Asperger's or autism. And he was, the son was also living with them. And I guess things kind of fell apart over, after Crystal and I were no longer doing Cheater Pop, things kind of fell apart with the two of them. And she ended up, breaking through a door with a small axe or a knife to get to him, which made him want to leave. But his son, who is grown, did not want to leave with him. So
wait a minute, I've seen that movie.
Well, tell me if the movie ends like this. So him and Crystal are going through court because she tried to say that when he left that he committed domestic violence. She called the police on him. And so they're going through court. So Crystal and the son are now together. So she's with the dad. Things don't work out. Dad moves out. And now she's with the 21-year-old autistic son who, is on Social Security. Like he's not high functioning.
Oh God.
And now the son's no longer a virgin, but he gets ridiculed a lot for performance. And so he tries to commit suicide because he can't take the abuse anymore. And so she had tried, the father, she had tried getting, some domestic violence charges on him. It ended up turning up in court. They were able to prove that not only was there no domestic violence on his end, she was the one who was committing domestic violence. So the father has a 2-year restraining order against her in my state. The son has a 2-year restraining order against her in my state. Also, there are charges for abusing a vulnerable adult and resisting arrest when she violated the restraining order a month later.
Wow.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah. Because I've heard some stories before, but like dating the dad and then you're dating the son and then they both have restraining orders against you. That's rare.
Yeah, everyone thinks they've got some stories until they hear Wesmo's story.
and this isn't made up. I interviewed him just the other night for the follow-up video that'll be coming, after court, the final court date and whatnot. But he wanted to share his story. And I have, I know that the restraining orders and stuff exist because I looked them up as part of research into the first video, but I didn't have the full details on it until just a few days ago. I mean, I knew that she was with both of them. I knew that she had dated both of them. I had found that out later, but I didn't know the extent of everything that had happened. But yeah, that's a pretty crazy. It's almost as crazy as the New Year's story that she told me on New Year's of 2020. So while Vince was doxing me on Twitter, claiming that I had hacked his phone and sent out those Onision tweets.
Oh, you were the one who did it.
Oh yeah, that was supposed to be me.
I forgot about that part. Okay.
Me and Yap Yap. It was supposedly the two of us. I mean, Yap Yap can barely turn on a computer, but we were hacking them and sending out just hilarious Onision memes. But the Crystal starts. Now I hadn't talked to her in 2 months. I wanted nothing to do with this girl. I'm trying to deal with all this going on, and she's messaging me, asking me if I'll call her, telling me, thank you for letting me be a part of your 2020. And like 2 a.m., she sends a message that says,
2020 just started. She's like, thank you for letting me put. Whoa!
Yeah. She's like, rape is such a overused word. LOL.
Whoa, dog.
Then Uber
Whoa there,
fail.
bud.
Uber fail. I'm going to bed. And I didn't pay any attention to it because she was always asking me crazy shit. And I just, I ignored it. And so the next day, though, I'm like, it was like weighing on me. What is she saying? Maybe, and I really thought, like, is she being held captive? Why did she send me that message? So I messaged her back. I was like, what happened? So she calls me and she tells me that, and this story's crazy. So she was living with this old lady who both of her sons are registered sex offenders. So they live in the forest together.
Jesus.
And so the old lady was going out of town for the weekend to spend New Year's with her sons in the forest, which already that's the beginning of most great stories.
Horror movies.
So Crystal had the house to herself, and no parties, no, like, basically it's like when you leave a 14-year-old home, you're like, no parties, no boys or girls or whatever.
No meth.
But just well, she probably didn't say no meth because she was probably unaware. But she did make it very clear that she's not supposed to have people over. She's a grown woman, but whatever. No people over and this and that. So that night she's enjoying. Probably didn't mention she's an alcoholic. So that night she's enjoying, I don't know, some vodka probably. There's a knock on the door. And she opens the door and it's the neighbor, and she's covered in blood and holding a knife.
What?
Now, you or I...
No, I've seen that movie too. Like that's not a good movie to be in.
You or I would probably want to know more details or somehow get law enforcement involved. But what Crystal said was, why don't you come on in, let her take a nap on the kitchen floor. Which is smart because you can mop up blood from the floor, but try getting it out of that carpet. So the lady's sleeping. The lady's sleeping on the kitchen floor. Now, Crystal believes the woman was a victim of domestic violence and didn't want to call the police because of her history with the police.
Does she have a knife?
Yeah, she had a knife. To
in
get
blood?
out, to get out of the house, if you have to use a knife to the whoever's hurting you, you're going to use a knife to threaten them
but
and get out of the house.
Man, that's a movie. Like you can't be doing that.
So a neighbor calls the police, and because they saw her go into where Crystal was living, and the police show up, and the woman is arrested because she was the domestic violent one, and she had stabbed the dog.
No, I did not see that coming.
The woman got the dog.
Now, I don't know if the dog might have been jumping up to protect whoever, but the dog got stabbed. Now the dog did live. And see, I didn't believe any of this when Crystal was telling me the story. I didn't believe any of it because it all sounded fucking ridiculous. But it was in the newspaper the next day, not with all the details I got, but the actual story itself. So when they arrested the woman, Crystal still believed that the woman was a victim of domestic violence because they didn't tell Crystal anything. They just arrested the lady. And so she was upset. So she went over to the house to talk to the lady's husband and, she didn't give him a piece of her mind. And she went over there. It's 11 something New Year's Eve. And he calms her down. He's like, why don't we have a drink? And so they had a drink, and then that turned to more drinks. Eventually there was some sex. And
well, it was the first
she
time
said
for
that
everything.
I'm surprised she didn't poison him. I was expecting poison.
No. Well, I mean, come on, she's not going to poison good alcohol. That's sacrilegious. So they have some sex, and then she says that it was an unwanted sexual assault.
Oh.
Which was a story I'd heard from her before, and it just, and from her meth thing with how it wasn't, nothing's ever her fault. I said, well, okay, why didn't you call the police? Oh, I don't want to call the police because in my experience, whenever I call the police, I'm the one who gets arrested.
She hit up the sex traffickers.
Yeah, that type of thing. So, and I said, well, so you're comfortable letting this guy go out and victimize other women? She's like, well, he won't do it to anyone else.
You know, like he already got it out of his system.
What kind of defense is that?
Basically, he just couldn't resist her, and there was alcohol involved, but she knows he's not going to do it to anyone else. And I said, you're sure that? She goes, well, really, it's not my problem. And which just, solidified to me that this person is a garbage person. And that was it. And then it was the next day when she showed up at my house for that bike. And so what she's going around telling people is, oh yeah, I got raped, and he told me I was a loser and called the police on me because I came to get my bike. Which the calling the police happened, 4 months later, but whatever helps her narrative in her head.
It counts. All right, hold on. A few things. Jabbers had thrown earlier to say, Wes, you're in court with her now. You should not talk about her until it's done. Like, are you like in court?
I'm familiar with how court works. I can talk about it.
Okay.
I've been through it.
Gadfly threw two and said, the love bomb thing has grown to be cringy as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Killing Joke threw two and said, the lesson, kids, do not stick your doodle in crazy.
Yeah, here's the thing though, and that is a very valid point, but I didn't know she was crazy until after things ended. And that's normally how this works. Like you've heard of women who date a guy and the guy seems great, they're really outgoing and everything.
Objects
and then they want
in mirror are crazier than appear, kind of thing.
Yeah, and then they start showing up at their house and doing all these crazy things. But had I known she was nuts right off the bat, then that wouldn't have happened. But none of that manifests. And what I found, because this is what I do, I've found a 5-year history of her harassing other exes years after the relationship is done. There is a Facebook post from 5 weeks ago where she is arguing with this guy's mom, calling her a tweaker, saying, I'm surprised you and your son aren't fucking, just going crazy on this woman. And this is a relationship that ended 5 years ago.
Jesus.
And she found a post. She found a post that he had made with a girlfriend in 2019 where they were commemorating their relationship, and she posted on it 6 weeks ago. Oh, I bet you still do meth and you look like shit now. I mean, years and years and years later, she cannot accept someone not wanting to be with her. And she'll call your job. She'll post things about you online. Like Chris Hansen had to block her because she was going to all of his videos and posting, I can't believe you're working with Wes. He uses women, and just like spamming his comments.
Really?
Yeah.
She was dedicated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, because she's tried doing it, even the ex, the one that, she dated the father and son.
That's so
she
crazy.
was doing the same thing to him, contacting his job, posting things online. But with me, I was the only one who had like a slightly higher profile because I have a YouTube account. I have, I've worked with larger YouTubers, and I think that really pissed her off. So she wanted to come in and try and do some damage to that.
Doing something and making moves, and she wants to try to put a wall up in between it.
Yeah, because to her, why would anyone listen to me when I love bombed and discarded her?
Yeah, you should love bomb her.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later.
Him.
We're gonna have a serious discussion about your love bombing and discarding.
The love bombing.
It's not cool,
like a
bro.
Terrible wrestling move.
I mean, but like it's just isn't that how any relationship would be? Like, say you're dating someone, probably have some feelings or some interest for that person. And if something happens,
Well, all
and
right.
you're
Wait,
no
how long
longer
was the relationship?
3 weeks.
Okay. 3 weeks. We're still in everything's great period. So everything's great. And then
That
she
was the
calls
thing.
you and says she's on meth. And you're like, okay, well, I can't be having that. So I'm going to not. And so she's
Yeah.
like, love bomb discard. But it's like, no, everything was great. And then you went and did meth. And so
But
now we're not
That's
great.
the thing, though. So, like, had that been the case, that okay, I could see her maybe feeling like
Well, she has
the rug was pulled
misinterpreted
out.
it because she is a meth head.
Well, the thing was is that things weren't great for 3 weeks. I had already told her, like, I know this shit's like, because I mean, there was little incidents. She was really insecure, and my furnace stopped where it was like 42 degrees downstairs in my house. The upstairs furnace was working, downstairs wasn't. You're supposed to spend the night at my house. And I was like, my furnace isn't working. The repair guy's coming tomorrow, so we'll just do it tomorrow. Move it till tomorrow night. Now most people would understand that and be like, yeah, I get it. I was frustrated. It was coming up on that time when you're wanting to put away I got a kid. I'm doing Christmas stuff, so I'm not trying to buy a new furnace and have some repair guy come and try and rip me out. Like, shit happens. So I was frustrated. Let's do it tomorrow. 4 or 5 hours of her messaging me that she was gonna go. She would do weird shit to like go hang out on the train tracks with homeless people at midnight to smoke weed.
That's a warning sign.
That wasn't weed.
Probably not.
They weren't hanging out.
Like, weed heads sitting on the couch or on the porch. They're not hiking down to the fucking train tracks in the middle of the night. Fucking do some midnight society crazy shit.
She starts sending me pictures of her out by like some lake or something, and she's got candles lit and some alcohol. She's like, well, since you didn't want to spend time with me, I'm just gonna do this, and hopefully I don't get murdered.
Candles, they doing ritual shit.
Like, all right, cool. Sounds like you have a full night plan for you. I'm not gonna play these games, right? So it just went back and forth with her saying, I can't believe that you're only 15 minutes away, and even though your furnace broke, you couldn't come spend time with me. My grandpa used to drive 3 hours to see my grandma when they were dating because he wanted to spend time with her. I'm like, sounds like you need to find
Grandma didn't smoke meth and hang around with hobos on train tracks.
Well, you mentioned the candles. All right, was this a candle in a romantic setting, or was she doing voodoo? What was she doing?
To me, it was all just some attention-seeking bullshit. Like, which I dealt with that before, and I told her, like, I'm never gonna spend hours going back and forth with someone over text about how wrong I am for something. If we're not right, we're just not right, and it's all good. Like that's all it should be. If we're arguing after 3 weeks because I didn't want to drive, I wanted to move it something one day. My life is not static. Things change. I'll have meetings come up. Like sometimes I have plans, and those plans need to change.
It should be fair for you to just be able to say, look, you said you're on meth. I can't be dating you.
Exactly.
I have a kid. I got things I gotta do. I can't be dating the girl on meth. I hope you understand. And that should be the end.
I said, like, what part of my life do you look at and see room in it for a meth addict? Like, I just don't have that life.
The income.
No vacancy for that shit.
Yeah, so she that was unacceptable, and it's still unacceptable to her. She's still talking about how I never gave her a chance to tell her side. Like,
you're not required to. Like there's no stipulation. Like, yeah, sure. Like it would be nice if everybody followed certain rules or whatever.
There is
in
no
society.
bill of rights in relationships.
There's no obligation that you ever have to give anyone the time of day ever. And when you do, you can stop whenever the fuck you want.
That, yeah.
Like you could walk in one morning, all right, and you could have a blue dress on, and you know what? I decided I don't want to date a woman with a blue dress. Get the fuck out. That's legal.
Well, and that's
You know what's not legal? Meth.
Yeah, I kept telling her, like, this is what happens in relationships. Like it just didn't work out. Please stop. And she would stop. She would say, you know what? Fuck you. I'm never gonna mess with you again. You aren't worth my time. And I would be like, cool. I wouldn't respond. I never responded to any of it. I would think 7-10 days. Like, all right, she finally got it. She's finally done. And then boom. 15 messages when I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're like, all of her crazy was between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. That's when the most of it would come through. All these crazy messages, and they would go from "I'm really sorry," like just give me another chance, and then the next message would be like, "Fuck you, you piece of shit! Like I can't believe I ever want anything to do with you. You wish you could be, you could be with someone like me." And then the next message would be,
man.
"I really need a hug. I hope that when you see this, you'll put all this aside and just come give me a hug."
I have known somebody to throw messages like that. I have caught those messages before, but never the meth bit. Like where it's just like, okay, I'm on meth, but why are you mad at me about me being on meth? They didn't have that part with it, but they were fucking wacky like that. Where, hey, come be with me. Oh, you wish you could be with me, and it's like, I didn't say anything. I ain't replied to the first thing yet. What are you talking about?
And I didn't become the bad guy to her because she was still trying to tell me, "Oh, you're this perfect guy. I'll never be happy with anyone like I was with you. I'll never be able to be with anyone else." And I didn't become the bad guy until the Muse videos came out. Because then she was pissed. She was like, "Oh, you have someone in my bed? Well, I'm trying to heal." She's like, "Well, I'm trying to heal. You're out there talking to other women. Are you fucking stupid?" And I didn't get it. Like, I haven't talked to you in 4 months. I don't care about your healing. You go heal for you. Yeah, the whole thing is insane. And she's, like engaged to this dude. I've got his family reaching out, talking about what's going on. I've got her family reaching out, talking about what's going on. And everyone is concerned because she's just getting more and more insane as she ages, or maybe as she does more drugs or less drugs. I'm not really sure.
Drugs will get these people, man. Do you think she was more normal before the drugs? Do you think that, without the drugs she's probably all right? Or do you think she's one of those people that was always a little wacky and then drugs just kicked it into high gear?
Yeah, I think that, because I think she's always had like these. So I found a blog spot from like 2015, and there's a lot of just feelings of inadequacy and talking about never having friends or being judged. Definitely has some issues, abandonment issues. And I remember her telling me that at one point. I have abandonment issues, and she also says, "I'm not stalking. I'm just stubborn." And that to me,
okay,
that's a scary sentence, because if you don't understand what you're doing is wrong and that this is unwanted contact, and you're continuing with it, like you're relentless with it, and then I find out that she's not just my stalker, she's stalking multiple people. Like, how do you find the time for that? It's not abandonment issues. It's not abandonment issues. It's like one people for leaving you, and it's stubborn. You can't describe not letting people go and not letting people live in peace because you want to be stubborn. You are stalking and harassing people.
So when you don't sleep anymore because you're got a lot of, you're always up on meth, you got a lot of spare time on your hands. You can fit a lot of people into that schedule. including
See,
random.
that's one of my regrets is that I didn't get that poetry book because I'm sure it was just fucking awful, and I enjoy stuff like that. But she did send me several poems. So I made a video in my video that I made about this in December. I used some of her poetry that she wrote about me.
Oh, no.
The poetry was written, I think it was like February. I think it was around Valentine's Day. But she posted.
Oh, you were her Valentine.
Yeah, and then she sent me some story that she wrote in Google Docs about a dog that nobody wanted, that just wanted to be loved. Then someone took a chance and got the dog at the pound, and the dog became the most loving dog because all it needed was someone to give it a chance. I'm just reading this going, the dog just needed love and a little meth, just a teenth every now and then.
It's a little meth for the bowl, you know.
But like weird shit. Like, so I mean, clearly she was the dog in that story. Like, why are you sending this? I'm grown. Why are you sending this to me?
She had a weird take on what was going to work on you, obviously. Lighting
Yeah,
candles
clearly.
and trying to get you to come down to the train tracks in the middle
Well,
of the
she
night.
would try and get me jealous by talking about the guys that were hitting on her. And I'm not even joking, because I have all of this. I have all the texts, all the emails, and she'd be like, oh, well, Toothless Dennis at the gas station was hitting on me. And the two Mexican neighbors, who, by the way, those are the guys she claimed sexually assaulted her, are always telling me that I have a great ass, like I don't already know. And I mean, but she's like, oh, and some guy on the bus. And I mean, am I supposed to be jealous of Toothless Dennis and gross neighbors and dude on a bus?
Well,
Yes.
I mean, dude on a bus has it going on, but
dude on a bus has a bus pass.
I also
Yeah,
hear
yes.
that
Yeah,
I hear
dude has somewhere
Toothless
to go in
Dennis.
life.
Toothless Dennis, he's got one of those year-long Netflix subscriptions, so
No, I know about Toothless Dennis. I met Toothless Dennis.
he's got shit going on.
Yeah, Toothless Dennis does work at the Chevron that she is banned from.
I'm gonna regret this. How you get banned from the Chevron?
You know, that's a really good question, but here's what I do know.
Oh no.
Here's what I do know, okay? When I first picked her up to do our very first Cheater Pop filming, I had to take her to this particular gas station because they were the only ones that sell the little bottles of alcohol. And she bought like 4 shots of vodka. Now we are about to go to a park. I don't know her. She doesn't know me. We're about to go to a park, and some dude's showing up with bondage gear, Mike's Hard Lemonade, and $100 in ones because he's going to make it rain on her while she strips for him. Right. So I get why she would want 4 shots of vodka for that. A lot of nerves. But it was a daily thing, I guess. And the reason why she can't have alcohol at home because she's an alcoholic, and if she has a bottle, she's going to drink the whole bottle.
She gets drunk and acts a fool.
Yeah. And so she was getting homeless people to go in and buy her alcohol. So I believe that is why she was banned. And when you're a grown adult and you have to go get a homeless person to buy you alcohol, I want you to take a long look in the mirror and tell yourself, I have failed.
You're out here exploiting the homeless. What are you doing? Can't be doing that shit.
Yeah.
People see you out here.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's where the ban came from, because Chevron frowns on having homeless people go buy your
As they should.
Your little bottles of rock gut.
All right, hold it. There's a question from the chat. A guy threw in money to ask it, but you are still allowed to plead the fifth. Summarizer Rain threw in and said, Wes, has John Swan ever hit you up about Chris Hansen?
Yeah, we've talked before. I mean, as far back as this time last year, I've been talking with John.
There you go. Ishtar threw in 5 and said, may I recommend an in-depth background check before any future dates?
Yeah, well, that is. I mean, I don't know if you guys. I worked in dating. I was director of marketing for several dating websites. I mean, I worked in dating for a long time, and I know what you're supposed to do with the background checks and stuff. Now with Crystal, it was different because I had met her filming this show, and like if you see
That
footage,
kind of
we were really,
the like
we
normal
were
like
really.
dating site background check, that doesn't happen when things go organically. Organically, you just don't happen to background
That's the
check
thing.
somebody that you
No.
kind of click with or whatever.
So yeah, so we only ended up working together in 2018 for like a month and a half until the lawsuit. But I felt we'd spent hours together and we got along really well. You know, we had a lot of fun doing the show. So there was definitely chemistry there. But there was never anything beyond just filming the show. So when we ended up getting together like a year later or whatever, there was already a familiarity there. And we started out, we were just hanging out as friends. And then it just kind of evolved from there. But yeah, I mean, for sure, full in-depth background check going further. Because I would have found every one of those DUIs and the multiple restraining orders and everything else.
It would have been a bad time. It would have been a bad time. Gadfly threw to and said, "That's love bombing and discarding Kuji. You're a jerk." Oh wow.
Yeah.
Akujin got called out.
Yeah, you
for
guys
love
need to be
bombing
aware
and
of that.
discarding.
You guys need to be aware of the love bombing.
You got to be
Not so
careful,
much
man.
the love bombing as the discarding afterwards. That's where you're going to get into trouble.
Yeah, people seem to be fine with the love bomb part.
The love bomb's good. It's when you, even if they do meth, it's a conversation. It's not, you don't end it.
Yeah. Ricochet through five.
Blue
said,
dresses are a
drugs
deal
are
breaker.
bad, okay. Oh shit, Akujin. What'd you say?
I said blue dresses are a deal breaker for me.
Oh, the
I'll
blue
banner
dress.
the fuck out of you for wearing that blue dress.
Or is it a gold dress?
And that's up to you to decide.
Frostbit threw in as well and said, if this is a different woman, how the F does this man meet these crazies? Some people have a gift.
Well, like I said, you know, she was hired to do a show to play a role, a decoy role in this show. Now, what was supposed to happen was when the guy when I sat down, so she would be sitting at the park bench, and the guy would come up. We were supposed to meet at Starbucks, which was across the street, and I would change the location. I'd say like, "Oh, I just saw my neighbor go into that Starbucks. Are you trying to set me up?" You know, like I'm not going in there. And the guy would beg because they would always be driving like 2-3 hours to get here, because I'm a troll, and I thought that was hilarious. So rush hour traffic, 2-3 hours to show up. I'm like, yeah, I'm going home. I don't, I think you're trying to set me up. The guy'd be like, no, like, please, I just want to meet. All right, I'm at the park across the street.
Oh my.
So Du would come walking up. He'd sit down with her, and they never saw her face because I didn't use anything. Like her face was never shown to these guys, but I would make them they would give LinkedIn information, like everything to prove who they were. So they would sit down, and I would come walking up with the camera, and she was supposed to get up and walk away, like for her safety. But I guess she was so drunk the first time, she just stayed and sat there and started asking the guy questions too. So she just became part of the show. So going forward after that first one, it would be playing trivia against her.
Oh,
and no. Yeah, and it was hilarious.
Okay,
but
how many of them lost to the meth head?
That was the thing. None of them ever knew anything. So they would always trying to say like, "Oh no, this wasn't about prostitution. I was trying to build a relationship with this girl," but they would know nothing about her. They would know nothing, remember nothing from the chat log. One dude showed up with he wanted to pay her with grocery store gift cards.
What?
Yeah. That's why I made him do a PSA like, guys, don't try and pay for pussy with gift cards. It's embarrassing.
That grocery store gift cards, these aren't even Amazon.
No, yeah, like it was to like, the Piggly Wiggly or some shit. I was trying to give her grocery store gift cards.
That's fucking
That's
brutal.
amazing.
Yeah.
As to how all this happened, I reckon I could guesstimate how all this happened. I don't know about Muse. I can't. That one. I don't know how you got in that situation. But this Crystal chick, alright? Women don't have crazy tattooed on them. You don't find that out first. This is a woman who was able to get hired as an acting job as a prostitute. I assume this woman has assets. And you are going to look past any certain ticks on the first date for those assets. And it's not going to be until like 2 or 3 weeks later that you find out that there's crazy.
Yeah, so that's actually inaccurate. I was not. So the reason why I didn't use her face in any of the decoy conversations with these guys was because I thought they would see her face and lose interest. I didn't think so. I didn't think that she was attractive. I enjoyed her personality. You know, personally, I really liked her personality, and we clicked.
That crazy
I didn't think she
personality.
was.
Look, I gave you one out, and you just buried yourself.
No. I'm gonna explain myself. So I didn't think she was conventionally attractive. She had a really nice personality. But I didn't show her face, and I made up the backstory that she was married and was worried that her husband would find out what she was doing. So her face was never shown. Once these guys had driven 2 or 3 hours, they didn't care. Like they were here for what they were here for. So it didn't matter. But if the guy would have came from 10 minutes across town, probably would have dipped. So that was the reasoning behind things.
That's cold. That's cold.
But
so yeah.
But real quick, I will ask, since we have one here. Hey, Vamp, is there something about, I don't know, is there something about meth that makes the female mind clearer? Like, have you had any bathroom talk with anyone about that? Where it's like, my mind
no,
just isn't
everybody
working.
that I've ever met on meth was absolutely batshit crazy.
They seem that way, yeah.
They also had really bad skin.
Bad skin too. Okay.
Yeah, crazy and bad skin, not a good combination.
Okay.
Well, so
highly attractive personalities, though.
What was that?
What'd you say, Akujin?
Highly attractive personalities, though.
It can happen that way, actually. Like when they're not high, they're normal.
So what happened was, so when I put the ad up on Craigslist, I probably had 50, 60 females apply. And I couldn't give all the specifics of what the show was going to be, because I didn't want people to Google it and find it.
Right.
So,
Makes
you know, I was vague, and then they would contact me and I would give them more information. But I asked them to send basically, you know, what their experience was, if they enjoyed surprising people, their favorite reality shows were. I was looking for someone who was going to say, I love Cheaters. I love the show Cheater. I wanted someone to say that. But I, you know,
it seems like Cheaters, but a game show.
It's like Cheaters with To Catch a Predator. That's exactly what it was. And so most of the people sent me, you know, four or five lines. They treated it like a job. You know, they would send a headshot and a paragraph about themselves. Crystal sent me this long, rambling, hilarious message where, I mean, it was just, and she seemed perfect for what I was looking for. And that's how she ended up getting hired. Because I was like, wow, this girl's crazy. This is great. Then, you know, a year later, I'm like, wow, this girl's crazy. This is not great.
What was I thinking?
Yeah. But for the show, though, like if you saw footage of the show, you would say she was perfect for the show.
She worked for entertainment. She doesn't work for life.
Yeah.
I could see that. Okay. See, this is I don't know, it's just on the total other end of, like, guys when they go into the the dating field. They're looking for a nice, pleasant girl and like all this shit. Not one that like you get a random call, "Hey, I'm on meth," and it's like, "Whoa, are you
Well,
sure?"
that's even better. It was a text, and I was able to use that in
Oh,
my video.
glorious.
Because when people try and change the facts, when you have those receipts, she never so she says that she was named Crystal because it was her mother's drug of choice.
Ah.
And so she was raised by her grandparents, and we actually grew up like 10 miles from each other and didn't know each other. And we both grew up in California in the same city. Didn't know each other there. Didn't meet until we were here in Washington. But she had a really privileged upbringing.
Anybody else hear that?
Hey, what?
Those screaming sirens. Alarm bells?
No.
No?
You hear sirens and alarm
Oh,
bells?
I get it. I see what you're doing there.
Oh, those.
I didn't know this. This was not told to me in the beginning.
Yeah, they.
He's like, I didn't know.
I didn't know.
Well, look, that's fair. People don't carry around a dating resume.
They should, though.
I mean, yeah. It'd be nice.
It would be really nice. I just want to call a couple references.
Now, I've been forwarded something where the people are saying that they know that they have found the perfect girl for you.
Don't you put this evil on him.
Well, that's what I'm hearing.
Don't
Is
do
she
it.
insane?
Well,
I mean, you have a type.
I mean, that's always in the eye of the beholder. I mean, but I'll get it to Akujin. We can take a peek at it. But from what I've gathered, like she seems like she's right up your alley. What they're telling me here.
Did she pretend she was kidnapped by a tall Hispanic man?
Dude. Are you ready to just like settle down? Because
this is the one.
Oh yeah, so I just watched this like a week or two ago.
You just what? Oh,
my buddy sent it to me. He was like, "Hey, I watched your Crystal video. This girl's even crazier."
No.
What does she want to like wear the fiber that covers his muscles or something?
Love times light equals eternity. Yes.
It's all an equation.
Love times light is eternity and mega love. And if he wants me to go to jail, I'll go to jail. It's fine.
Not so difficult to understand. No, this was a crazy story. Yeah, I watched this.
So are you shocked that it was not your phone that these texts were being sent to? because part of me when I heard this story, I was like, I wonder if Wes is who she was sending all those messages.
Yeah, no, I mean, so when I see her, it makes me feel like, you could just, if you're weighing things out or if you're rating things, like this is way, way worse than anything I experienced.
Does she freak you out?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, because you can hear when she talks, she really doesn't believe that she did anything wrong, and that's exactly how this Crystal girl behaves. Like in her mind, she's completely justified going after these guys.
The other girl, was she out of breath all the time? Like that was what we noticed about this girl. Like she is exhausted.
I don't know if it's exhaustion or see what she would probably say anxiety, because like if I played a drinking game and went through Crystal's emails.
I wound up here on a road trip from
Holy
Florida.
shit. I didn't even know you'd press play on this, Akujin. You fucked me up.
You just did right now.
You scared me. All right. You got to be careful with that. All right. You can't spring it on people. Like you just hear the heavy breathing and the talking, and it's freaky. You gotta
That pause
ease.
right there. That's it right there.
Oh man, that's a hell of a fucking pause.
But she would always say anxiety, like, "Oh, you're not talking to me," and my anxiety, probably 1,000 times in her messages and texts and emails, she would mention her anxiety and how she couldn't breathe. She said, "You're not talking to me, and I can't breathe, and my stomach hurts. It might be irritable bowel syndrome." And like,
Ma'am.
What?
Ma'am.
yeah,
So look, I'm anxious. I gotta poop.
yeah, and I mean, these are
Oh,
crazy messages to be getting from someone, but
that is something to blame it on. Like you hear people blame things on mood swings a lot, but
never IBS. Yeah, that's a new one for me. But
I'm
just the fact
anxious.
that she doesn't believe she did anything wrong or is doing anything wrong. She said, "Oh, I called a lawyer, and the lawyer said what I'm doing is perfectly legal." She didn't, but that's what she felt. She felt like she's just getting some things off her chest, and that's her legal right to do. That's how this woman, also, like, in her mind, she wanted to say these things to this guy. No matter what he said or wanted, he needed to understand that she knew it was right for both of them. And that's the same thing with Crystal. In her messages, she's like, "You don't get it. I love you. I'm the perfect person for you, and you're just being too stupid to see it."
You're being unreasonable and
Yeah,
not doing what I want.
I thought you gave a shit. I thought you believed in me, but you're too stupid to see what's right in front of your face. I hope you realize it before I'm done with you.
I
At this point, is she at a place where you think that you will be able to shake her by the end of 2021?
Like, well, but if the court thing turns out, then yeah, that'll be it. The only way is if there's something legal in place where she cannot contact me. But I know that the guy with the 2-year restraining order, he has a message from her from 8 months ago.
Okay, she'll always message, but as far as
Well, he won't do anything. Like, he's not going to get the police involved. I will, because I'm just tired of it. So no, she won't message me again if there is a restraining order in place. She will leave me alone finally. But that's the only way.
I want to wish you luck with it. And I do wish you luck with it. But I don't think that the big problem is going to be the restraining order because, like you said, she's just going to keep messaging you all the time.
No. I think if there is a restraining order, she will stop.
You think she'll quit?
Yeah, dude, she's having a baby. She's with some other dude. I don't understand how he's fine with her obsessing over all these exes and not letting that stuff go. But at some point, like, she has so many cases in her past, so many restraining orders and roommates calling the police on her and evictions. Like, that stuff catches up with you. And she could lose her if her and this guy don't stay together, which, I mean, come on, what are the odds of them actually staying together? Then the family will want to take the baby, and they'll have a really good case for it because she is
going to have a very tumultuous few years ahead of her, very
and she's
likely. So
causing it
hopefully
to
she will let
herself.
go.
I mean, like, and then you look up her screen name, and there's posts of her on suicide help forums giving people like advice on how to kill themselves, and
on how to do it.
Yeah, like, kind of, yeah. And then the poetry about other people and the post where she's doxing people because she's mad that this guy broke up with her, and and she calls everyone abusive and everyone's gaslighting her. That's like her favorite claim. "You're just gaslighting me." She says, "I'm gaslighting my audience." I don't know what the fuck that means. "I'm gaslighting my audience by not allowing her to talk."
Jesus. Okay. I don't know if she's gonna let it go. She sounds wacky as hell, dude. Like that's some wild shit. I didn't know about that.
You guys should definitely check out the first video because we have the second court date on March 2nd, which is almost a year to the date that she was arrested last year. And then I will do the second part of the video, which is going to be even crazier because I've got some some really solid interviews with people who wanted to share their side.
Is it more of the people that she has launched her meth tirades against?
Well, one of them is her possible future sister-in-law.
Oh no.
The baby daddy's sister who stepped forward to tell her
That
story.
union is not long for this world.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He's young. He's like 5 years younger than her. So,
and you had talked about the thing with the father and the son before, and there's problems all over this.
the father and son thing. I mean, I think that enough right there. That's one of those stories that if you like, hey, I've got someone coming over I want you to meet, but before she gets here, let me just get this one thing out in the open. And that's one of those stories that people just you can't forgive that. And not only a father and son, but the son who is, like not a high functioning autistic person, like needed assistance with things and
vulnerable.
Yeah, of an actual vulnerable adult, not someone pretending to be a vulnerable adult for GoFundMe.
Yeah. Which is lucrative, apparently. 50 grand.
Some people, some people do it and don't make anything, and then they make up false trafficking claims. So,
that blows my mind.
True.
You can get a lot of traffic through GoFundMe, apparently, with this.
There are lots of GoFundMes in her past as well.
So, if
It
I
seems
look
like
at
the
this as
money's
a best
the
case
money's in the
scenario thing.
kidnapping, not in the trafficking.
All right, good point. The money is
Yeah.
in the kidnapping, not trafficking. Akujin's right. That's where the big money's at right now. But
That's where it's at.
if I try to look at your whole deal with it, best case scenario, like the best outcome we can look at, the restraining order goes through, and she is then soon wrapped up in so much of her own family drama that she can't possibly have the time, hopefully, to bother
Well,
with you.
see, the other side of that is, so after she got out of jail last year, she had just moved in that day, moved in with a new roommate. She had moved out of the old woman's house that had the sex offender kids. She was renting
Forgot
a
about
room.
that.
Yeah, she was renting a room from someone else, and she got arrested the day that she was moving, the day after she moved in. So the woman was like, "I don't want you here anymore. I don't want this kind of drama." So she ended up staying with some dude that she was always talking about. She ended up staying with him for, I guess, a month. I don't really know, but she claims that he was getting her drunk and sexually assaulting her every night for 2 weeks. That she didn't even know about it until I don't know how she found out, but she didn't know about it. He was getting her drunk and sexually assaulting her every night. And then her grandma had to give her some money to go stay at a hotel, and that's my fault. In her mind, that is anything bad that has happened to her.
It happened because you broke up with her.
Arrested happened because of me. It all leads back to the love bombing and discarding.
Had you not discarded her, then none of this would have happened.
Exactly. It's cheap. Well, and the supposed sexual assault on New Year's Eve, that was even one of her messages. Well, if I would have been with you, none of this would have happened.
Ma'am.
That, really upset me, because how are you going to try and put this, first of all, I didn't believe it was a sexual assault, but second, how are you going to, put this on me?
This is just the nicest sounding lady. She just sounds so pleasant.
And stable.
Very, very.
What the fuck? I I don't know.
So
Oh.
All right, so this past New Year is when that kind of went down. Is what she was
no,
saying?
that was New Year's. That was New Year's. That was the day 22. So as Vince is doxing me, as we're turning into 2020, the great 2020, my 2020 started getting doxed on Twitter. And that's why I joined Twitter that night, because I wanted to tell people I never doxed him. And the reason why he was saying that was because we had proven that he was scamming people earlier that day with a video. We had released a video earlier that day that he was trying to scam people with some websites that he said he made that he didn't make. And then, 9 hours later, he was saying that that I was hacking him.
And she was experiencing.
And yeah, then a few hours
allegedly that.
while I'm dealing with all that, she's messaging me about, that she's was sexually assaulted.
And that is your fault.
That's my fault
Definitely
because
your fault.
because she wasn't with me. That was my fault.
That's an interesting way of looking at things.
Well, if you want somebody
Psycho.
to blame by name, West Most can roll
West
off
Most.
the tongue, I guess.
West Most.
It'll roll right off the tongue. West Most. Hold on.
So
Man,
yeah,
poor Wes.
that was my experience. That's been my experience so far with. So my 2021 is kind of off to a start, but yeah, it was a lot of last year was spent dealing with Vince, and then it went to Muse, and then after all that, it was like finally done and over with. Then this ex from before, who I never wanted to talk about because, like, honestly, shit's embarrassing.
How many years ago was she relevant to your life? Like 3, 4, 5?
No, dude, 29 October 2019. So
Okay.
So 2 months before that New Year's,
Mm-hmm.
I had stopped talking to her because of the meth.
Okay.
As you do.
So November 2019, I stopped because of the meth. I was done because of the meth. And then, 2 months later, she's still messaging me, and Vince is doing his doxing thing, and then still didn't talk to her. In February, she's on Valentine's Day, she's messaging me, I don't believe in this sappy bullshit holiday, but I could really use you today. If you're out there, if you're listening, please just come over. On my kid's birthday, she messages me to tell him this message is for your son. Happy birthday. I wish I could be there, but too bad your father has time for you, but doesn't have.
What?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bitch.
Too bad your mom ruined him so that he doesn't even understand a movie like The Notebook. And I never watched The Notebook. First of all, we've never discussed The Notebook, but she brought that
What
up.
does that have to do with anything? What
No idea, but
I thought
clearly
this was 2 consecutive New Year's, not the same New. This
No,
sounds
no,
like
no.
a really shit New Year's. You had.
So here's the crazy part. Ready? So Vince is doxing me on New Year's Eve. Crystal is messaging me on New Year's Eve, and that's also the night I first encountered Muse.
You poor thing.
All on New Year's Eve 2020 for 2020.
Yeah, now I can see why Muse didn't seem as crazy.
Because Vince was doxing me on a deity stream. He'd gone on a stream and he was telling everyone my name and where I live, and he was also talking about her. So she showed up to kind of defend herself because it was like she was trying to get on Chris Hansen's show because she wanted them to do something about RSN, and she was representing this group of people that was the RSN victims, because she wanted that fame. She wanted to be on there and have people go to her Patreon and GoFundMe and feel bad for her. But there was no case. Like, she claimed that she had an open case. There was nothing, so they couldn't do anything with it. And Vince was talking about her, so she showed up. So that's where I first encountered her. So all of that happened on that one New Year's Eve.
Can we blame Vince for this?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I never would have been on Twitter if it wasn't for him. So that's definitely on Vince.
I guess he's good for something. He got you.
I mean, I was just making troll content. That's all I would be doing if it wasn't for Vince and that whole thing. It does all lead back to him.
Also, Zales had pointed out how funny it was earlier that it's a meth head named Crystal.
Yeah. But she said her grandma changed
You can't
the
write
spelling.
this stuff.
That her grandma changed the spelling so that it wasn't the traditional, how you spell crystal.
No, one of those.
She said it was actually spelled with the C before. I mean, I don't
think the name change took. I don't think it mattered in the end.
You don't think it took?
Yeah.
Didn't take.
It didn't click. It didn't fire off right. All right. Well.
Now I'm gonna need to get off here in a minute, but I do want to share, if I can, a story with you guys. And it was a story she told me. It was a story she told me while nursing a bottle of vodka at my home once, and she wanted to tell me the story of how things turned bad for her, like when her life went astray.
Oh.
And it was something that she had kind of touched on the first time we hung out. Not when we were doing Cheater Pop, but when we were hanging out as friends. And I really didn't want her to get into it because I know that those can be some pretty painful experiences for people, to discuss. So
it was when you broke up with her, right? I thought
no,
that was when
this
everything went wrong.
That's the new when everything went wrong.
No,
she was telling him about the old when everything went wrong.
The original when things went wrong. When she went from the privileged child growing up on a home literally on the beach, to where the light turned out and things got a little more dim. And
I thought the breakup rippled back through time and affected her as a younger person.
Like the butterfly.
That's how severe the love bombing was. It went through time, space, gravity, and just.
Yeah, I mean you're close. So we're hanging out and she's talking to her sister, and an uncle gets mentioned, and I won't say the uncle's name, but she was upset that the sister was spending time with this uncle. And she's like, you know what he did to me. There was an argument, and they talked for like 45 more minutes and got off the phone, and she started to cry. And I'm feeling, very uncomfortable. And she says, I think I want to tell you my story. I say, you don't have to do that. And
please no.
Please don't tell the story.
I'm cooking asparagus in the other room. I need to.
Well, she told the story, and I'm going to tell the story. And this isn't something I'm doing out of revenge. Yes, is she going around making up things about me and telling people stories about me? Yes, but this is not a revenge. This is to give some insight. So Crystal tells me she's a teenager and she comes home from a party and maybe not dressed appropriately and drunk, and walks in the house, and uncle's there at the top of the stairs. I believe at the top of the stairs, and uncle wants her to, what's that?
Eating a pencil.
Possibly, I'm not sure. So uncle wants her to come up those stairs. And I already know where this story is going. And, I don't need to hear it. It made me really uncomfortable. I don't know her well enough to hear something like this, but I'm not going to tell her to stop. So she continues talking. So uncle has her come up the stairs and wants to start taking her towards one of the rooms. And I guess the uncle wanted to take her to grandparents because uncle had seen his sister go through this and didn't want her to go through that. So little scuffle on the stairs, and uncle falls down the stairs and breaks an ankle. He says she pushed him. She says he fell. Nobody believes her. She gets 5150'd and has to spend 6 months in one of those forest schools for badass teenagers.
Huh.
And that's where things went wrong. Yeah. It did not have the ending that I expected it to.
I was not expecting it to go that way.
That was an M. Night Shyamalan style twist where it just like came out of nowhere. Because when Uncle starts dragging it towards the bedroom, and I'm ready to, like call timeout, and
It's like, hold on.
Nope. Uncle got pushed down some stairs.
Do you think that her story is legit, or that she was just pushing him down the stairs?
Well, I mean, which part of the story?
I
believe
know.
everything. I believe everything in the story, other than she didn't do it. I believe everything else is accurate. But well, because the story has been mentioned in now the age changes depending on when the story is told. I've heard 15, 14, I've seen 17, but the situation surrounding the story does not change. So, Rose is in the chat for Uncle with the broken ankle. Here for you. Sorry she did that. But that was probably the worst origin story for becoming a fuck up that I've ever heard.
That's fucking horrible.
It's a hell of a twist she had there.
It is a twist, but it's like
Right
it's
in the
not even a
ankle.
good twist. It's not where everything's starting off real nice and then it takes this drastic turn. You're expecting the worst thing to happen to her with showing up like that, and the uncle's trying to pull you towards a bedroom, and
Right.
turns out uncle was trying to do the right thing, and uncle paid with his ankle.
All right, come on. Your mom was like this. Let's go.
Yeah, come on.
You to bed. And she's like, ow.
I'll show you. And then the next thing you know, he's hobbling around on some
And in the hospital.
he's well, if it was a Lifetime movie, he definitely would have died. Because if you push someone down some stairs in a Lifetime movie, that's instant death. But
He would get
Oh,
pushed
100%.
downstairs on
luckily,
TV
it was
and
real
die.
life. Luckily, it was real life, and he just got the broken ankle. Then she spent time in the forest.
Whenever you do that, it just hurts a lot.
Well, because she would always say she went to boarding school. And in my mind, you go into boarding school, you're in like Europe or some shit in uniforms, and finally she was like, yeah, boarding school. And I'm like, I don't think they call that boarding school. That's badass kid camp. That's not boarding school.
That's like you did some shit.
Nice.
Boarding school does sound nice. Like, oh, I spent some time at boarding school. Then you find out it was in the forest and you were wearing camis and getting yelled at, and it was because you pushed your uncle down some stairs.
Someone almost died. So, yeah. A little different than boarding. Only a little, though.
Just slightly
Don't
different.
sweat it.
Just a tad.
Don't sweat it too hard.
So my takeaway would be, don't push anyone down the stairs, or your life is going to take a drastic turn for the worse. If you think breaking a mirror and 7 years of bad luck is something, just wait. Just wait until you shatter a man's ankle.
That turns it up times 4.
Yes, that's 28 years.
Yeah, you'll be on meth in no time.
You'll be all methed up.
You'll have more restraining
It's like
orders
his
against
ankle
you
was
than
all
fucking
methed up.
Messed up.
messed up.
Yeah, all methed
Riddled
up.
with the funk.
Puns.
Okay, so she's like the
Single?
8th most undesirable girl we've heard about. You know, she's up
Not single.
there.
Not single.
Oh, she's not even single too.
No,
There's that. Like she's
engaged and pregnant. Yeah, engaged and pregnant. So
she is.
Why is she
taken.
messaging you?
well, because
He needs to know what he missed out on.
Listen, I love bombed and I discarded. Did you not hear any of that?
Yeah, you can't.
Yes, I heard it.
Why would she not message me? I don't know, and that's a question that people ask her on Twitter when she keeps posting about me, and her response is, "He stigmatizes mental health." So her platform,
What?
if you go to her Twitter, the Twitter bio is Moast stigmatizes himself.
What?
Stigmatizes mental health by victimizing himself or some like it. Yeah, it's just about me.
Her bio is.
That's a
about
weird
you.
way of saying a dude broke up with me because I smoked meth.
That is, isn't it? Isn't it?
Well, I mean, but like, look at her story of how she became a piece of shit, and it's because
I'm crazy, and how dare he call me crazy?
because she pushed someone down some stairs.
You
Well,
can't do this shit. I don't know. The fucking. And like I get it, like if she was really into it and everything, fine. But one, it's been years. Two, you doing meth is, even if you're a meth head, you've got to know people are gonna
right?
break up with you.
Yeah, usually.
You've got to know, like this is it's a deal
frowned
breaker with a
upon.
lot of people.
No, agreed. Or she should be able to explain her way out of it, because that's the other thing though too, is that with that lady, that Jacqueline AIDS lady, she didn't make excuses. She said, like, if he wants me to stop, I'll stop, even though clearly she wouldn't. But like, she is insane, where the things that she's saying don't make any sense, and these equations and everything else. But like to
She
Crystal,
made
this is
perfect
all
sense. Come on now.
this is all justified.
Isn't
to
there
Crystal. Like, no,
isn't there a quote about how the line between genius and insanity is undistinguishable?
yes,
I hope she's not a genius.
she's not.
I don't think she is. I hope she isn't.
She's a genius at drinking, though. I mean, like, she's really good at that.
Like, there's a lot of crazy.
I'm
like,
not talking about
really,
her.
Really
I'm saying
smart people that
maybe
are
love
insane.
does equal 3.3 times infinity.
Akujin might be in love with Jacqueline AIDS. Like on the
Maybe.
low, he might.
On the low,
Maybe.
Not very low. Like, everybody can
not
tell.
very low.
He's got a crush on the craziest lady he's ever seen.
It's fine. I get it.
What? Don't encourage him, Wes. What are you doing?
Have you seen his taste in
Of
women,
course Wes
Tonka?
gets it.
Well, it will always work.
Killing me.
Look,
It will always work. You're fine.
at some points, this lady looks like
It's always
this.
fun.
So
Oh fuck.
sometimes, you gotta eat your vegetables to get to the dessert.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
know what you mean by that. I don't want to know what you mean
I'm
by
rationalizing and
I
justifying.
don't either.
Why are you
I-
stigmatizing my lived
So
experience?
why are you stigmatizing mental health?
that. Oh
Don't
fuck.
stigmatize mental health and
What the fuck,
gaslight
bro?
your audience.
I'm gaslighting people now.
No, he is gaslighting himself. Thank you.
Wow. Well, that's not
She's-
nice.
She's gonna love bomb and discard you, though.
Quit love bombing, folks. Hey, Akujin, I don't care how many times you show the picture of Jacqueline AIDS being attractive. All right, she could look perfect, but she is insane, sir.
I'm not sure who she is.
Yes, you are. You just don't know it. She sent like 100-something thousand texts to some guy and
159,000.
Oh,
to
that
wear his skin.
lady.
Yeah,
that crazy one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no.
love is equal to
Yeah, no.
3.33
Yeah,
times
no,
infinity.
thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, no.
I'm
man.
perfectly okay with that not ever being in my life. No
I'm
skin
still
suits,
shocked
please.
that she wasn't one of Wes's girls. Like,
No,
like, she
luckily
sounded like a Wes girl.
She is one of those women that, like, she's, you know, that once she's in there, she's not going to leave until you get some sort of legal help or the police are stepping in.
Or she
Animal
takes your
control.
flesh.
Animal control would be good too.
Yeah, they got those like long poles with the little thing on them.
Thing on.
Yeah,
I bet she has a crazy.
so you can
She has
stay
a
at a
crazy
stabbing
story.
distance.
She probably has a crazy story about pushing someone down some stairs before too.
She seems like a stair pusher for sure.
Yeah,
A little.
Sure.
Yeah, someone got pushed down some stairs before.
Krubu through to and said, "What about comb over titties, Akujin?" Oh my. Yeah, that was another crazy lady, which we should never show Wes because just the way the cosmos works. You know, we're tempting fate already with this Jacqueline talk around him.
Oh yeah, this is the second.
Her car's gonna break down in front of his house. I swear to God, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, this is the second time I've been sent this week, so that can't be good.
The cosmos is
The
saying
universe
something.
is talking to you.
It's like we have found her, Wes.
Oh, thank you.
She is the one.
Oh, thank you. I'm good.
The one what?
The one pussy
Whatever
to
the
rule them
hell
all.
the genre of women is. It's just off the
Yeah,
wall.
she's like the alpha. She would be the leader. If she goes down, they all go down.
Oh,
Accurate.
She's the Ice King, or whatever the fuck his name was.
She's the one.
The Night King.
But all right, what you were saying that you had to head out in the soon, and we
Yeah,
appreciated the fuck out of your story times because they're always fucking fantastic. These were great.
Thank you.
This was good shit.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know how things turn out with court.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You got to let us know how everything plays out with the court dates, with the wacky lady, and all of that. But also, make sure to plug the things. And do we have the link to his video to throw? We
I don't
should
know.
get that.
I got this link to a love bomb support group so that he can get some help.
My
But
God.
please do not give him that.
look, he needs.
Bomb support group.
Yeah, he needs to like stop.
He needs to stop.
Probably
He
true.
must be hindered. He
I'll,
can't keep getting away with it.
I'll send you the link to that.
Good shit.
That video. I did this one more like a true crime video. So let me know what you think of the format.
See, that's when you're gonna blow up. When you bust into the true crime.
Is it the
genre.
one
I'm
that
not
you DM'd me on Twitter?
What?
Is it the one that you DM'd me on Twitter? I hired my stalker.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, I'll put that in. I got that link.
I hired my stalker on Craigslist.
Craigslist is so great for so many things,
Yeah. I
you
mean, if you
can get
need to
anything
hire,
there.
you need to hire a decoy prostitute for your YouTube channel. It's a great place to go.
Oh, I
we
bet.
heard about somebody getting assassins the other week. It was like, wow.
Yeah, you can
All right.
you can find anything there, like a stalker. So anyway, thank you guys again, and I'll let you guys know how everything goes, and just hit me up whenever.
Hell yeah. I appreciate the stories, man. I appreciate the stories. Be safe with the crazy stuff.
Always. All right, guys. Thank you.
Have a
Take
good
it
one,
easy.
Wes.
That's Wes's video beside the train's avatar there in the chat for you. And he did not disappoint. But I did notice something looking at the screen and being prompted by a very angry lady. She is giving out that she was never on screen.
Rude.
Apparently Vamp was never on screen. She's not happy about it.
God
And
fucking damn it, Akujin.
Couldn't
this is
you could
direct
tell that I was super
sabotage
angry
of
by
the
the
show.
crying laughing emote.
It's a furious emote. It's a
Uh-huh.
furious emote.
Uh-huh.
All of the anger.
Well, you're on so infrequently, I forgot you had an avatar, and it's a
Oh.
shame that, my Twitter, Discord DMs are closed and you're blocked so that you could not remind me.
This dude.
This fucking dude.
See,
That was rude.
how do you end up trying to throw all this hate at people after all the trying to pick up on Wes's crazy women you've been trying to do all day? How do you get to go and hate people?
I'm not hating on anyone.
I don't know. What you said to me was pretty damn hateful. It's pretty mean.
I think you should be less hateful, Akujin.
Mean old train person.
I'll do my best.
He'll do his best.
Will you, though?
Maybe.
Promise?
Man, I was gonna buy you this Viking game too.
What about Vikings? I don't even know what that means. Do we have any more Jacqueline AIDS footage? Or no, wait. We actually have the video of the girl being kidnapped earlier.
We
Do you guys want to see a totally real kidnapping video?
Yes.
This is real kidnapping. Please do not steal. Original kidnapping, OC.
Trademark?
Original kidnapping.
Tall, 40 to 50 years old Latino male, about 5'10". Please, I'm in Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm in the basement. You could be back any second. Please help.
Yeah, I can't understand how that got out of hand.
Oh.
That was really quick.
Well, yeah, it was only like a 3-second video. That was the only thing that she put out.
No.
Until today, when she put out the thing where, you know, it was our fault for everything else that happened after.
Yeah, that whole situation just makes me extremely irritated.
That's not cool. They were definitely going for the please help.
Everybody
the issue
knows
with this is like, especially when it comes to like black trans women, like bad shit happens to them. And when people do shit like this, when something actually bad happens to someone, who believes it?
This is the one that will get the most attention and will be echoed around for damn sure. One, because of how much money was put in. That was a giant amount of money. Which makes no sense because what can money do for a kidnapping? Unless there's a ransom. I had thought of that.
There was no ransom.
But there's no ransom. Yeah, what are we doing?
A GoFundMe with a goal of $60,000 is, and no description is definitely what you want.
The internet and its wacky idea of just throw money. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm kidnapped. Please give one big coin.
One big coin.
Please, one big
coin. Kuji coin needed.
Okay.
Kuji coin is not worth 50,000 each yet.
No.
Just yet. But it's on its way to the moon, people.
The moon.
Just got to keep hodling. Right?
The moon is down, right? He said. Look. Oh, well, Vamp is on screen now, so people can see Vamp, so that's weird. Do you know what I think would have been cooler?
What?
if we end up having like a twist ending where it was Jacqueline AIDS that showed up on the screen.
Wow. I see how it is.
Yeah. Well, you
That's
know,
hateful talk.
you know what the funniest thing about those twist endings is